Dragon Whisperer with another video for the channel. In this video, I'm super excited. We're going to be doing a tour of my reptile room here and all the animals I have here at the rescue and some of my own personal pets. Some additions to the room as well as some super cool enclosures that I've recently put together that I'm excited for you guys to see. So I also want to take this time to send some super important shout outs to some people that are really important to me and what I do here at the room. First and foremost, my family and friends who have done nothing but support what I do here at the channel, and some big shout outs to the Pendergrass family, to Ricky T and his wife Cassandra, to Sour Patch. Ricky and his wife have been some of my first subscribers and big supporters from the very beginning. Also, big shout out to Clint's Reptiles and all his supporters that have came over to help the channel. And also Lord of Lion, Reptiliatus, Brian Barzak, Cam Keenan, all the YouTubers that I watch that have really helped increase my husbandry knowledge. Wiccan's Wicked Reptiles, if you guys have never checked him out, and as well as Brian from Altitude Exotics. Super big shout out to Brian because he's done a lot to help me with my own personal breeding projects here. And if you guys haven't checked this channel out, please go check Brian out at Altitude Exotics. Probably the world's best crested gecko breeder right now today. So, hope you guys enjoy seeing the animals I have here. Hope you guys enjoy the video. And once again, like always, smash that like button when you're through watching. Ring that notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we're going to get straight into the tour. So, I hope you guys enjoy it. Sit back and let's start the show.
It's showtime, folks. It's showtime.
Now, this is Dora, my Cuban brown and Knowles enclosure. And you guys are lucky because she's usually not out. Here is little Miss Dora. There, the camera focused in a little bit better, but she has that beautiful diamond pattern down her back. And I rescued her from Craigslist. She actually came back from Florida in someone's suitcase, so that's why I named her Dora. And this is her enclosure. And I've had her in the reptile room for 3 or 4 months now. Okay, you guys, this is my little Wit Blitz bearded dragon, Chaos, and this is Chaos's enclosure. And she is, like I said, a Wit Blitz bearded dragon female, and I got her at the Repticon in Raleigh back in August or September. So she's just now getting to be about 6 or 7 months. She's a beautiful little girl. She started out being very, very aggressive, as you can see there, but then she's definitely tamed down a lot. She still doesn't like me to handle her all the time, as you can see right there. She's ready to bite like she just did, but as soon as she bites, she realizes I'm daddy and there's no harm. But like I said, she still doesn't really want to be handled very much. But we're still working on that. Usually once I get her in my hands, she's a lot better off. You guys can see her there in the light, but she's a really, really beautiful little girl. And this is Chaos. Okay, you guys, this is Gandalf's enclosure. I built this enclosure myself, and it's about 2 feet wide, about 1.5 feet deep, and about 4 feet tall. And it also has a Thrive misting system here that provides a good rain simulation for Gandalf. It's going to spray out of the 2 nozzles that I have mounted in the roof, and it really makes it like he's getting a little tropical rainforest experience there. And you guys can see Gandalf is right here. He is such an amazing specimen. He is a panther chameleon, just came out of shed. He's an amazing, beautiful guy. I'm going to try to get him out and handle him here in just a second, but I have some food ledges I want to show you guys that I built into Gandalf's enclosure, so therefore I can leave bowls of superworms or roaches, and I try to keep them in spots that keep the bugs dry. And Gandalf has a couple of places that I can stash his little bowls, and he has the pans in the bottom to collect the excess dripping and rainwater. And you guys can see right here, this guy loves to be handled so much that he's actually gonna walk out here, I'm pretty sure, so that he can come out and be handled. He's usually kind of a slow mover, but we will get Gandalf out so that you guys can see Mr. Gandalf up close and personal. Yeah, he's going to come on out here, I'm pretty sure. If you guys haven't seen my video already, don't equate most chameleons to the way this guy interacts because most chameleons are not this social. Most chameleons don't really want to be handled. Some will tolerate it, but most do not enjoy it, and it's very, very rare for your chameleon to want to climb out and interact with you like Mr. Gandalf does. This guy is amazing, and when he licks you there, that's letting you know he's very calm and cool and relaxed, and his colors are just simply amazing. Got all the dragon bowls there on the bed as I'm getting ready to feed, but I love this guy to death, and I'm so lucky that he has the personality that he has. And we're going to put him back in and continue with the tour. Say bye, Mr. Gandalf. Now, this is also an enclosure I built out of an old storage cabinet. As you guys can see here, created a little bit of storage space in the bottom. But this is my Chinese water dragon, Hanzo. And what's amazing is Hanzo is a female Chinese water dragon. And the reason I know for a fact that Hanzo is a female Chinese water dragon is Hanzo just laid a clutch of about 7 eggs, and 1 or 2 of them do not appear fertile, but the rest of the eggs do appear fertile. And Hanzo, to my knowledge, had never been bred. She is a rescue off of Craigslist, but she has her little climbing ladder here, a little ledge with substrate in it she can hide on, and she also has a nice clean water bath, which she's got dirt in there, but the water, as you can see, is fairly clear, which requires fairly frequent changes because she's a pretty dirty girl. And she has some substrate here in the bottom. She actually dug into that substrate quite a few inches and buried her eggs in there, made a beautiful little nest for her eggs, and we've retrieved those, and those are incubating, and she's knocked some of her panels off the wall here, climbing up and down, but she really loves the enclosure. It goes up and down a lot. She has her basking area here in the top, but that is Hanzo, my Chinese water dragon, and she says, "Oh, I'm a little camera shy." Okay, I did want to show you guys Groot, and I did have to wake him up because he is in brumation, so he is not in his normal enclosure, which is being built right now for him, which is going to be a big 4x8 with 4-foot walls.
Nice execution. You're doing terrific.
Which is going to be outdoors too, but it's going to have a covered area to keep him out of the elements and a warm spot to keep him out of the cold. But this is Groot, my Argentine black and white tegu, who right now is in brumation. But this guy is an amazing creature, and right now he's just in this temporary tote where he has a lot of substrate to bury himself in his water bowl and his hide, but right now he is just sleeping 24 hours a day, so he doesn't need any heat or any light, and he is in this small temporary tote while he brumates. But that is Groot. Okay guys, this is my newest enclosure I just got through putting together, and I used a Gorilla Glue background that I'll have to give a shout out to Clint's Reptiles. I saw him do an enclosure build like this, but it has substrate basically glued to the background, as well as some hides and basking spots that are glued to the back wall. And obviously the rest is filled in with decorations and different things for enrichment for the animals. They have their little hide over here and the little log against the wall in the back they can hide behind. This thing obviously is hollow that I have mounted, which was like a floor piece, but I mounted it on the wall, and they've got their little stump hide over there. They've got their eating area over here, and these guys will eat some fruit, so I've got some crested gecko prepared diet here, their little water bowl, and I tried to create a little river rock section over there to keep the substrate out of their food, and a good mossy covering on their bed so it gives them a good place to walk, but they can still burrow. These guys got plenty of substrate down there, but these guys have been super inquisitive, their personality is amazing. They definitely they'll throw themselves at the glass when I walk by their enclosures. The first week they were skittish, but now they are really wanting to be interactive, and their intelligence level is super high. So if you guys haven't checked out Emerald Tree Skink skinks. These guys are super, super awesome, beautiful creatures, and they kind of slink along the ground like a snake, and they use their legs kind of for mobility, but they don't really walk up on their legs. They kind of slide along on their bellies. They're really cute animals, and I've named all of them, and I can tell them apart. Clinty has the little black snub on his nose there. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's Loki because his jaws are just a tiny bit offset, and then Leisha has the perfect little pointy snout with no imperfections, so I can already tell the three of them apart. But I really love the enclosure, and the skinks seem to be loving it. Okay, this is my 5-year-old big girl, female bearded dragon, Clementine, and she is a beautiful leatherback. She has the beautiful red beard there. She's such a hand for the camera, and she has that beautiful light purplish blue bars. She's about to go into shed here soon. Big fat tail, big girl. She loves her big rock and her big tree there, and got her fresh salad and her little water bowl there in the corner. But that is my big girl Clementine and her enclosure. Okay guys, this is my Saharan Eurymastix Pyro, and he is going into shed there, so he's getting a little dark there, and this guy's definitely a little bit on the skittish side. And this is his enclosure, which has a really hot basking spot over here, but he still has a really cool spot over there and a little hide over there in the corner. And this guy's just now really starting to take to eating superworms, and it's really helped mine and his relationship, because I can get him to come out anytime I want and eat one of these superworms. So that's been a big help as far as mine and his relationship, because this guy is nuts for superworms. And if you guys are interested in Eurymastix care, I have a great Eurymastix care video on my channel. But that's Pyro, my Eurymastix. Now this was my first ever bearded dragon, my personal pet, my boy Apollo, who I purchased at PetSmart, and he was my first ever bearded dragon. He is about 10 months old now, and Pyro has established himself as the alpha male of the entire reptile room. He even makes my other big male Ramses submit and wave to him. Apollo is the king of the reptile room. And this is Apollo's enclosure. I can't open his other door because I keep his hammock there in the front. He likes to lounge where he can keep an eye on things. But that is Apollo's enclosure. And my little stud Apollo. Okay guys, this is my beautiful little girl Khaleesi, and she is one of my personal pets that I adopted myself from PetSmart, because I went in there for about a month, a couple times every week, and she was in a little tank all by herself, all alone. So I felt so bad for the little girl. I decided to get her and bring her home, but she has amazing orange colors and amazing bluish purple bars, and they even show up on her beard there. Some beautiful, amazing orange and blue colors right in her beard. So I hope this girl is going to be a breeder for me one day, but she has one thought on her mind when it comes to eating.
If they move, kill them.
Because this little girl slays anything I put in her tank. She has the most incredible feeding response, loves to eat. But that is my little girl, the Khaleesi, and this is her enclosure. Now this big, beautiful girl is Clarabelle. She is another one of the rescues here at the Reptile Room, and I rescued her off of Craigslist during the early stages of COVID, when her owner could no longer afford to take care of her. But he's been an awesome guy, stayed in contact and checked up on her quite regularly. So shout out to Chad if you're watching. She's doing great, but I have had to pretty much strip down her tank for right now until I build her something a little bigger, get her a bigger enclosure, because Miss Clarabelle keeps climbing on top of everything if I put anything tall in her tank and jumping out the top, because I don't like to put screen lids on my dragon enclosures so that they can get the full UVB from their lights. So she keeps escaping her enclosure. So for the time being, we have had to augment her enclosure to everything low so that she can't jump out. Now she looks like she doesn't have any ups, but I promise you this girl can get up. But that is Clarabelle's enclosure, and that is my big 2-year-old girl Clarabelle. Now this big humongous guy right here with the big black beard trying to act tough, but as soon as I pet him, and he'll give daddy a kiss usually. Yep. And but this is my big kind of pride and joy. This is Ramses. He's gonna head bob me. That's so funny. But this is Ramses. He is another one of the rescues. Got him from some people who no longer wanted him off of Craigslist. But he has some amazing bluish purple bars. He is a citrus, and he's going into shed too, so his colors aren't quite as vibrant as they usually are. You can see some of the orange there on his arms. But Ramses is a stud, and I'm definitely going to be breeding him soon, probably to Clementine. So I'm going to have some blue bar, tangerine, leatherback, big, humongous, awesome, healthy dragon babies here pretty soon, hopefully in the spring. But that is Ramses, big super stud, and his enclosure. Okay, you guys, please excuse the water spots on the tank. I've tried to get those off, but I got this tank from somebody else, and they were already on there. But this is Ebony. Unfortunately, my two scorpions that I had been raising previously, Cinder and Shadow, passed away because my heat strips went out on this power strip that was in their tanks, and I did not realize it. But this is a new addition. This is Ebony. She is a black Asian forest scorpion, and she is very, very feisty. Matter of fact, the few times I've tried to handle her, she bends right up and pinches the crap out of me. So this girl is not nearly as docile as the other two scorpions I had. Way, way more fight and feistiness in this girl. But this is her enclosure. Use a sponge over there in their water bowl for their hydration, and she loves to hide in that cave right there. But this is Ebony. Okay, you guys, this is Boss Hog, one of my first pets a long time ago. I raised him since he was about an inch long. Once again, excuse the reflection, a lot of lights and a lot of glass in this room, but this is his 55-gallon enclosure. Keep his water very clean. Takes a lot of work, but he is well worth it. Love this guy. Once again, this is Boss Hog, my Tiger Oscar. Okay, you guys, this is definitely one of my little favorites and a success story for the room. This is Stevie Ray, and when I adopted Stevie Ray, he had a terrible eye infection. His owner said she had taken him to the vet, and the drops the vet gave her didn't do anything. I took her to my vet, Dr. Crawford, here in the area. Big shout out to him. He's awesome. Lawndale Veterinary Clinic, and he gave Stevie Ray a vitamin A injection because he was low. I got a special video about Ninja and Stevie Ray, my two special needs dragons. But now Stevie Ray, as you can see just fine, and he is quite the eater. He was super skinny, had terrible muscle structure and bone structure when I got him, and we've been giving him good vitamins and lots of food here at the Reptile Room. And Stevie Ray is growing like a beast, and he is such a cool guy. He likes to keep his little beard puffed out, I think because of his vision has been affected. He's always kind of in a little bit of defensive mode, and he has bitten me thinking that my fingers are super worms. So, but that is Stevie Ray, my super awesome little special needs dragon, and this is Stevie Ray's enclosure. Now this gorgeous little girl is Ninja, and as you can see, she no longer has her tail. She had necrosis in her tail from severe metabolic bone disease when I adopted her, and she had to have a tail amputation, once again by Dr. Crawford at Lawndale Veterinary Clinic. But she has amazing blue splotches on her back and so many bright, beautiful colors, a lot of oranges and yellows and reds. She is an amazing little dragon and such a fighter. She's put on so much weight, and she has thrived here at the room. Now her enclosure is fairly plain and bland looking, because she will flip over on her back very easily. Now she does climb up and down on this log and hides in here at night when she sleeps, but everything else I've tried to put in here, she falls over when she tries to climb on it, and she lands on her back. She cannot get herself back right side up. So her tank may seem bare, but it's worked out great for Ninja. She is thriving. We take her out of the tank a lot and let her sit on the couch with me while I watch TV, and so she gets a lot of interaction with me personally, but she's really thriving, and that is my little girl Ninja. Okay, this is one of the additions to the reptile room. This is Pandora, and I'm not sure if she's a blue or a green iguana, but she is a iguana, and she's a female, and this is the enclosure that I put together for her. She actually has one of these outdoor pods. It's completely closed in with really thick plastic, so it's great for humidity, and it's really too thick right now for her claws to scratch her claw through, but I was given this with hers, and it's worked out really well. She does have a permanent enclosure that I'm putting together, and let me just say this, you guys, iguanas, and I just don't think they make the best pets because of their aggression and because of the constant need to work with taming them down and the damage that they can do if they're not tamed down.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Now, I've worked on a daily basis with this girl, and as you can see here, I talk to her every day. I put my hand in the enclosure every day, and I'm surprised she's even letting me get this close. She normally runs, but she's probably going to tail whip me if I get too close. And you guys can see, yeah, her tail's getting ready there. She's definitely getting ready to tail whip me. You can see it kind of swishing around down there because she's getting ready to use it. But that's something that I'm going to have to continue to try.
Do or do not. There is no try.
And I'm going to have to keep trying to, or like Yoda says, do until I get this girl tamed down and get her more accustomed to me where I can handle her and show her that I'm not a threat. But that is Pandora, my rescued blue or green iguana. She is a beautiful animal. And that is Pandora's enclosure. Now this little bundle of joy is also a recent addition to the reptile room, and although she does not have scales or any of the other qualities that most of my animals here in the reptile room have, and she's obviously not a reptile, but this girl has fit in perfect. She gets along with all the animals. When I take the animals out to interact with them, she has not been aggressive or mean toward any of them. She treats them all like they're her little brothers and sisters. She is super protective of all of them, actually. She really loves laying in front of the dragon tanks and watching them, and she couldn't be a more perfect addition to the reptile room. And this is Miss Ellie Mae, and yes, she's named after Ellie Mae Clampett from the Beverly Hillbillies, but she is the most snuggly, cuddly, awesome dog ever in the world, and I couldn't be happier to have her. Now this superstar right here is Cheech, my leopard gecko, and Cheech is such an awesome little dude. He looks like a little old man to me, and he was one of my first personal pets. He's going to go back into his little cave right there. But I'm also going to show a little clip because people have asked me, do leopard geckos really drink out of the water bowl? And I finally got a good clip of Cheech drinking out of his water bowl. So I'm going to show that in the video, even though it's not really part of the reptile room tour. And this is Cheech's enclosure. And one of the coolest things I do want to show you, that I try to keep his enclosure clean, but these guys eat calcium. If you watch my care video that I have on my channel, they need regular calcium without D3 in the enclosure. They love to eat in it, play in it, and he tracks it all over the place, and there's nothing I can ever do to keep his enclosure clean. Those of you who have crested geckos know about that. But one of the best things about crested geckos, and once again, I hate to kind of show poop in the video, and my cord game could use some work, but leopard geckos, not crested geckos, leopard geckos always pick a spot in their tank, and they always poop in that same spot. So that is Cheech's poop corner, and that's always where he poops no matter what. He's never ever pooped anywhere else in his tank, so that's one really big plus to having leopard geckos as far as cleaning goes. But they always track their calcium all over their tanks, and they always make it a mess. But that's Cheech, my leopard gecko, back in his tank, going back to sleep. Okay, you guys, this is Tyrion, one of my male crested gecko breeders, and this guy's a stud. He has been breeding with Sansa and Arya, and I have 6 crested gecko eggs right now that Tyrion fathered that I have incubating. So I'm super excited to see what this guy produces. He has a nice harlequin pattern and some really cool markings on the side and some tiger stripes on the back when he's fired up. So really curious to see this guy's babies. Like I said, I have 6 eggs from this guy that are incubating, and this is Tyrion's enclosure. It has the Gorilla Glue backdrop, but unfortunately it has some patches that came off. I'm going to have to touch up, but this enclosure came out really well. I had made it for crocodile skinks, but I decided to get 4, so this enclosure was too small. And he really loves his cork log right there. But this is Mr. Tyrion, my male gecko breeder, and his enclosure. Okay guys, excuse the dirt on my hand because I just had to get him out of the tank, but this is Shrek, one of my personal pets and one of my future breeders. This guy is a Leachianus gecko, or a Rhacodactylus Leachianus, and this guy is going to be paired up with Fiona in the future and hopefully producing some very beautiful Leachianus gecko offspring. So I've been working with these guys, trying to swap them from tank to tank to get them introduced to each other. And there he goes, jumping back in his enclosure. But these guys are so adorable. They have that kind of loose skin and the shorter tail than most geckos have. But this is Shrek, and this is Shrek's enclosure. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the gems of my collection. This is another one of my personal pets that I got from Morph Menageries in Raleigh. Big shout out to Gabby and those guys. Oh, please focus, because she is so, there we go. She is an amazing Leachianus gecko. Her pattern is so incredible. Look at that. I mean, she's going to be such a beautiful girl when she grows up. And she definitely does not really enjoy being handled. And but she has the most amazing markings on the front of her head. If I can get them, there we go, on camera there. Kind of like a dragon. And the most amazing eyeballs these guys have. There we go. But she is a beautiful, beautiful creature, and this is Fiona. She will be getting paired up with Shrek in the future. Is one of my breeding projects. There she goes. What a cute little girl. I mean, that Leachianus eyeball is incredible. If you guys have never seen one close up, and they really have the dinosaur type of a face. But that is Fiona. You got to get your hand in there, sweetie. I don't want to hurt you when I shut the door. And that is her enclosure. Okay, you guys, this is the tank that houses my 2 Tokai geckos, Maddie and Ozzy, that are both wild caught, that I am breeding. Have not produced any eggs as of yet, but and you guys can see I have a misting system, or a fogging system, that's piped into all my gecko tanks to help with humidity. But these guys love their cork log, and I'm definitely not going to handle these guys because they try to bite my face off. But it's so cute because they're both, you can see the eyeballs, they are both inside of this cork log right now. And that is Maddie and Ozzy. What a cool shot. Both of my Tokai geckos. It looks like one of them is going into shed soon, but these guys are amazing. And you can see they are blue with the orange dots. Now they're looking a little darker right there because they're in the dark, but normally they're kind of a brighter blue. And these guys are amazing creatures, but they're very, very aggressive, not afraid at all. And as you can see, that gecko eyeball is so amazing with that vertical pupil. But these guys love their cork log, and they love each other, as you can see. But that is Maddie and Ozzy. Hopefully we'll be producing some babies here very soon in the future. And that is their enclosure. Okay, you guys, this is Aria. She is one of my breeders, and as you can see, that amazing stripe down the side. She would almost be a quad stripe maybe, but the stripe isn't prevalent all the way down this side, but she almost has a little bit there between that stripe and the dorsal. She is really incredible when she's fired up. That pattern down her dorsal and her pinstripes are amazing. She has a little bit of a snub tail. I think one of her clutch mates got her, But when this girl's fired up, she is amazing. And she just laid 2 clutches of eggs for me recently that I have incubating, and I cannot wait to see those guys hatch. She is such a sweetheart, and we're going to let her get back into her enclosure. There she goes. And also in this enclosure is Sansa, and I'm going to try to find her and show you guys here in 1 second. But this is their enclosure. They're in a 18 by 18 by 24. They have the nice little hide back there in the back cave, and plenty of hiding spots for them to hide their little water bowl and food bowls. And I'm going to grab Sansa out here and show her to you guys as well. Okay guys, this is Sansa. Another one of my big female breeders. She just laid a clutch of eggs just a few days ago, and I'll be showing you all the eggs I'm incubating here shortly. But she has a huge, big triangle shaped head, beautiful crest. Yes, I'm talking about you, sweetie. She is such a sweetheart. And we're going to get her back here in the tank. But that is Sansa, my other big female crested gecko breeder. Okay, I did want to briefly show you guys that these are all the eggs I'm incubating. I am using Repashy Super Hatch, so the color changes when the humidity in the Super Hatch gets too low. As you can see over here where this Super Hatch is starting to dry out, it's a clay medium, and I really like it. But these 6 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are my 6 crested gecko eggs that are all fertile and all starting to grow. And these 5 right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the fertile water dragon eggs that are already starting to grow and expand. And this one I believe is infertile right here, this guy, but I'm going to incubate it just in case. So right now I have 6 crested gecko eggs and 6 water dragon eggs that I am incubating in my Repashy Super Hatch here in the reptile room. Hopefully have some crested gecko and some water dragon babies in a couple of months. Okay, you guys, this is Irwin. As you can see, a beautiful tricolor, and that patterning on the back there, it continues almost onto the head of Irwin there, and he has some beautiful pinstriping. Like I said, a tricolor, and this is his little buddy Snoozy. Irwin is a male, Snoozy is a female. I have them paired up together here in this enclosure, and go ahead and let Irwin get back into it. These guys have become the best of friends. They get along great, but they both have some amazing markings, amazing colors. Snoozy is a Dalmatian flame, and she has grown up quite well. She's one of the only crested geckos that really enjoys eating insects. She's a beast when it comes to eating her bugs. But that is Snoozy and Irwin, my 2 crested geckos that I have in this enclosure. And this is their enclosure with plenty of nice hides and foliage for them to climb in and hide in. They do have some cork, bark logs, and things in the back for them to hide in as well. And they really seem to love this enclosure. Okay, now this is Jordan, one of my baby crested geckos. And Jordan has the Dalmatian gene as well as some pretty impressive pinstripes, the harlequin pattern, and a beautiful purple base color. There you get a good shot of a harlequin pattern on the side, and some really impressive patterning on the back there too, kind of like some tiger stripes. But that is Jordan, one of my baby crested geckos, and this is Jordan's enclosure. And I found that these little bottle caps work really well as feeding dishes for these guys. So that is my little guy or girl, Jordan, too young to sex right now. Now this is Armani, you guys. Armani has beautiful pinstripes. That's why I named her Armani, or him. I still don't know the sex of this guy. Also has the Dalmatian gene. Beautiful harlequin pattern on the side there, and beautiful purple base color, and also has that drippy morph. You see those spots there between the pinstripes and the harlequin pattern. They really show up when this guy's fired up. But this is Armani, and like I said, a bunch of little morphs on this guy. It's going to be an incredible breeder when he grows up, or she grows up. And this is Armani's enclosure. Okay guys, this is Blaze, one of my future breeders, and you can see those incredible markings on Blaze's head and the incredible pattern down the back of this guy. Really amazing. Can't wait to see the colors as this guy grows older. And this guy is quite skittish and flighty. He will jump at the drop of a hat and doesn't even care if he has a landing spot or not. Really, probably my most difficult animal to film. But the markings and the colors on this guy are really amazing. Can't wait to see what he looks like when he grows up. Those markings on the head are super incredible. But that is Blaze, and that is Blaze's little enclosure. Okay, you guys, this is Peaches, and she is an incredible little gargoyle gecko, and she has the most amazing markings, but she's really fired down right now, so you can't see a lot of her amazing colors. She has some beautiful colors here in her face, and her eyes are amazing when she's fired up. She can kind of see the orangish peach splotches on her back. She is an orange blotch gargoyle gecko, so when she fires up you can really see those colors, and she's just starting to get the little horns on the top of her head. She's starting to fatten up here. But that is Peaches, my gargoyle gecko. She's such a cute little girl. Her hands are so cute, and hopefully I will be getting a male in the future to breed with this young lady. But that's Peaches, my gargoyle gecko, and we're going to get her back into her home, and this is her little enclosure for the time being. Now, this is one of my most recent additions to the reptile room, and this girl is a big sweetheart. This is my female Mojave pastel ball python. She just came out of a shed. But this girl is super friendly. I handle her quite often. She's trying to get away from me right now. She's being a little camera shy. But this girl is eating like a beast, really growing. She's getting super big now. She's going over here probably to get a drink from her water bowl. But this girl is really beautiful. Like I said, just came out of a shed. And she is my first and only snake. And this is her enclosure. I'm using cypress mulch mixed with eco earth for her bedding, and she has a cool hide and a warm hide with a heat mat there underneath that bigger cave there. But this is Butterscotch, my female Mojave pastel ball python.
Okay, guys, once again, this is Will the Dragon Whisperer. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It really helps me with what I do here at the room. Hopefully soon we can get that subscriber number up to 500. I'm going to be doing a giveaway with one of my own personal hatched crested geckos with a full enclosure, full build and everything. So please guys help me hit that 500 subscriber mark. We're a ways away, but I know we can do it. So the channel's growing really good right now. So you guys, please continue to show your support, and don't forget to smash that like button, ring that notification bell, subscribe if you haven't already, and I can't wait to see you guys in the future. This is Will the Dragon Whisperer, and I'm out.